At Redlinger, at Mbeshi. Pleased to speak with at Mbeshi on the sidelines of the Kuwait meetings yesterday. Full interview. During live coverage of a school shooting in Broward County, Florida, AP reporter Cecilia Vega on Wednesday called tears is taking a Bozarenta. At Radio Sweden. Not a sight Swedes like to see. Ragnhild Hug of Norway takes gold with an astonishing performance in the women's cross-country 10 km free. Charlotte Kalla is 20.3 seconds back and has to settle for silver. Pyongyang 2018. At Via Europe. NATO to open new command centers in Assempercent, Germany. The and Germany are set to become the locations of 2 new NATO headquarters, according to officials. The German command center would...
We hope you guys are enjoying the mix so far. It's a bit deeper than usual, but some really great tunes. Up next, we got one of our songs. It's Honest. It's a day of August.
At Rednex News. Me trying to get through the week.
Hope you're enjoying.
At Tom Fitton, at Real Ultram, at Judicial Watch 8 5017.1.
As you know, Tom at Judicial
From
Watch has
2017 when I warned about NT at Real Ultram Pulp Government Justice Department
exposed her email scandal, drove home to the American public her untrustworthiness throughout the entirety of the campaign.
You on the crisis at
you guys
2018
did the work,
next week.
basically, that the mainstream media was unwilling to do, what Congress was unwilling to do, and the Obama administration was unwilling to look into. So, based on that, you still have several lawsuits pending regarding the Obama administration, corruption in that, as well as regarding Hillary Clinton. Now that Donald Trump is in the White House, how is your organization's focus going to change, and how do you see wrapping up a lot of those suits that you still have out there pending?
Well, there's a lot there to unwrap, but obviously we changed history with the Clinton email scandal. We uncovered it.
Yeah, you did.
It wasn't Congress, it wasn't the media. And of course, it was the Obama administration that was implicated in helping her cover it up. And scandal matters to the American people. Fighting corruption matters. And certainly there was no indictment of Hillary Clinton yet. But if there was a grand jury sitting on Election Day, they made their views known on whether Clinton did anything wrong on her email scandal. And we're still in the middle of the email scandal. We're still trying to get all the emails. And frankly, President Trump's administration should consider reopening or pursuing any ongoing criminal investigations related to Hillary Clinton.
So what do you still have ongoing? I know the FBI has recovered some of the emails that she deleted.
We still don't have all of her emails. We still don't have all the pay-for-play emails. And the Obama administration has still slow-walked the release of that information. They've been fighting us tooth and nail. The Trump administration's been in office a minute, and so they aren't up to speed as to what needs to be released more quickly and to stop the obstruction.
At CNBC TV 18 live, at Nag Palmano, at Sumairwood. Which mutual funds should you keep on your radar? At Nag Palmano shares his picks with at Sumair Bedim
which was absolutely ruined.
At Singo, at Luca Rosiak exclusive, at Bailey Colored 2. Boy. At Unofficial. China celebrates holiday with various traditions year of the Dog Spring Festival 2018.
Perform a dragon dance with a 200-meter-long dragon made of 118 wooden benches every year. And people paraded through the town of Haochang in Anhui Province on Tuesday with a lion dance, dragon dance, and all other kinds of traditional performances.
Or sacrificed more for this country than the family of General John Kelly. John Kelly's service in uniform, his distinguished service at our Department of Homeland Security, where we saw a dramatic reduction of illegal crossings at our southern border, and his distinguished service as Chief of Staff gives me and the President great confidence.
At Scopperseller, at Tedlu. Good morning, at Tedlu. Are you going to return the money you received from Democrat mega donor Ed Buck, who reportedly got a young, gay black man who subsequently died hooked on meth Wednesday? Wisdom Jamal Moore. The 17-year-old snowboarder from Southern California is poised to become an Olympic star. At Immigrate. If I am murdered by a gun, I want you all to politicize my death before I even hit the damn ground. Do it. I want my funeral to be a goddamn anti-gun rally. Any mourners should be carrying gun control now signs. Do it.
In the village of Patangata, a royal visitor came calling. While King Tupou VI stayed in his vehicle, soldiers in his motorcade delivered much-needed drinking water to the residents. Nobody knew the royals were coming, but the 100 families who live in this shattered community, grateful for the help. Most here have lost their homes, a pattern that's reflected in other villages around Tongatapu.
This is going to set the country back by a few years, I think.
Minoru Nishi runs a multi-million-dollar farming and exporting business. He says most crops around Tonga have been destroyed.
Food security is going to be a big issue. It's a really sad time for Tonga, but any support from anywhere we can to rebuild this country as quickly as we can would be appreciated.
New Zealand Tongan businessman Saya Latu has heeded the call. He came in on the first plane to help after Cyclone Gita.
The way the infrastructure has been built in Tonga here, hasn't been done properly, and the road is so high. The oil is flowing to the houses, and it's got nowhere to go.
He intends to pump it out and
fired 19 people for sexual abuse in 2017. News VW 14.2018.
He's bringing his businesses generators, pumps, big loaders and diggers to help.
We only got one country. We don't have another one, so let's try to give back.
Others like Poliase Ilivalu, who lived in New Zealand for 33 years, agrees.
News and current affairs from Germany and around the world. DW.
Over the world, come back to Tonga and build Tonga.
His family's commercial building has been destroyed, so he's here to rebuild and stay on.
Support my kings and support my cowmen.
These villagers aren't waiting for government help. They've organised their own clean-up. They've already cleared the roads, and now they're going to be getting rid of piles of rubbish.
For locals, it's a case of life goes on, but as they pick up the pieces, they're grateful for any help they can receive along the way.
France 24 chief says her mandate cancelled over administrative glitch. France 24. Scientists know how you will respond to nuclear war, and they have a plan wired. The 2018 Worldwide Threats Briefing 5 Takeaways, from Russia to China wired. Cyril Ramaphosa, the man set to become South Africa's new leader. France 24. French trade in Mali leaves at least 10 jihadists dead. France 24. South Korea's Pyeongchang Winter Olympics costs, benefits the hosts and lactose delivered products despite salmonella recall. French retailers day. France 24.
Amy Adams putting on a show yesterday with a team of supporters, and at least one of her rivals isn't happy.
The caucus agreed that we would not all come out and be counted. I'm sticking by the rules.
It's for each member of caucus to decide if they want to be public about their view.
Amy is absolutely entitled to do what she did. My personal view in relation to supporters that I have is I'm not encouraging them to
Allies
go out.
pledged $30 billion to rebuild Iraq, are short of $88 billion.
no
Girlfriends
agreement
24.
on taking public positions. As the race heats up, Jonathan Coleman ruled himself out.
Basically, I've made my decision on the basis of who is going to be best to beat Labour in 2020, and I think that person is amongst those three.
Two potential candidates, Stephen Joyce and
the world's
Mark
largest
Mitchell,
migration is about to begin zero edge.
There are 12 days until Nationals MPs vote in a secret ballot. And behind the scenes, each leadership contender is working the phones to woo their colleagues.
Dhaka insanity, another judge blocks Trump elects Jones in 4 hours there, so run for your mind.
I just stand up and say what I think.
But Judith Collins did make a direct appeal to new MPs.
We have now a new intake in 2014 and also 11, some really good people who feel quite rightly that they haven't yet been given a chance.
And Simon Bridges making it clear he'll shake up the front bench.
If we were simply to substitute Bill English with Simon Bridges, that would not be the fresh look that's necessarily needed to win in 2020.
But first, this battle must be won, and with high stakes, the cracks are starting to show. Andrea Vance, One News.
The game is over. The jig is up. All bait was taken. Everything from here on out is simply mopping up the details. All suspicions have been confirmed. Why has Devin Nunes been so confident? Why did all GOP House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence members happily
Freedom and the
allow
minimum wage elects Jones in 4 hours there, so run for your mind.
Narrative? Well, the questions have been answered. House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence member Chris Stewart appeared on Fox News with Judge Perot and didn't want to make news or spill the beans, but the unstated between the lines discussion was as subtle as a brick through a window. Judge Perot has been on the cusp of this for a few weeks. Perot hits the bullseye at around 2 minutes 30 seconds into the interview. Listen to how Stewart talks about not wanting to make headlines, and he's unsure about what he can say on this. Let's listen.
Christopher Wray needs to be asked, what name did you want to be not revealed here? Peter Strzok? McCabe? You know, the people that are clearly in trouble. And by the way, have you heard the name Bill Priestap in the FBI, who's the head of counterintelligence and Strzok's boss?
Yeah, we've heard that name, and you're going to hear more of that name. I want to go back, though, to something you said.
No, I want to go back to Priestap, but you go back
Would
first.
delivery drones be held at efficient events where you live wired?
Some members of the FBI and Department of Justice were criticizing this memo and refusing to, saying we shouldn't release it when they had not yet seen it.
Right.
They had no idea what was in it, and they were condemning the memo and saying we were reckless for releasing it, and they had not seen it. And look, when we wrote this memo, we were very, very careful.
Well, obviously,
we knew we wanted
because
to release it.
Congressman, look, we saw there was nothing in there that brought this guy down or that revealed a source or a method. But I want to go back to Priestap, and I want my audience to remember this name, Bill Priestap. And I'll tell you why I'm asking. I don't like that I haven't heard of him. We've heard of the whole hierarchy, everybody on that 7th floor. And there's one guy we don't hear about, and that's Priestap. Comey threw him under the bus and said that this guy who was Strzok's boss told Comey not to advise Congress of certain things. And the fact that we haven't heard from Priestap tells me he's cooperating with someone or what?
Well, look, I'm going to be careful on this.
I know you are.
I'm not sure what we can say on this, and believe me, I don't want to be the headline of Chris Stewart reveals a bunch of sensitive or classified information.
That's okay. It's good for the show. Go ahead.
Well, and that's what
Bill Priestap is cooperating.
German arrested for pushing policeman into streetcar. News DW 13.2018.
Pre-step was to the entire 2016-2017
How Russia benefits from Turkey's Afrin operation Syria deeply.
The absence of his name, amid all others, created a curiosity. I wrote about it
GMS
last
car
year
sharing
and
company
wrote
launches
about
in
it
Toronto Wired.
because it seemed unfathomable that his name has not been part of any of the recent storylines. Bill Priestap is the head of the FBI counterintelligence operation. He was FBI
How
agent
Turkey has
Peter
potential
Strzok's
Afrin push
direct
measures up
boss.
against Syria deeply.
If anyone in Congress really wanted to know if the
In
FBI
Homs,
paid for
Assad
the
accused of using
Christopher
military
Steele
for urban
dossier,
planning Syria
Bill
deeply.
Priestap is the guy who would know everything about everything. FBI Assistant Director in charge of counterintelligence, Bill Priestap,
Florida school shooting survivor speaks out. There were bullet holes everywhere.
supervisor of FBI counterintelligence Deputy Peter Strzok. Priestap is number one, and before getting demoted, Peter Strzok was number two. The investigation into candidate Donald Trump was a counterintelligence operation. That operation
Let's take a look around. This is an interesting perspective. Acapulco. The resort killed by drugs, hash guns and gangs. Whoa. Now that's spicy. The once glamorous seaside town is now deserted, with the bodies of the gang's victims dumped on the beach. Oh, 7:51, Thursday, 15th February 2018.
Alright guys, so that's it for our half.
By Stuart Ramsey, Chief Correspondent.
They got the next 30 minutes on lockdown. It's going to be amazing. Make sure you tune in. I have a feeling this is going to be one of the best guest mixes we've had.
The American government has issued a stark warning to all potential tourists to Mexico. Don't go.
Is this week's featured DJ on the Nice House.
It comes after the country revealed nearly 30,000 people were murdered last year, the highest number in 20 years. Sports thrive in North Korea despite sanctions. Hold up, you have to see this. North Korea's sanction-riddled economy has limited the country's presence on the global stage, except for in sports. Years of economic punishment for nuclear belligerents haven't stopped the reclusive regime from managing a decent track record at international sporting events. At the 2016 Rio Olympics, the isolated nation clinched 2 gold medals, better than India's performance, adding to its 4 gold medal count at 2012's London Games. Weightlifting, wrestling, boxing, judo and gymnastics are the North's major strengths at competitive tournaments. During the 2014 Asian Games, the Pariah state took home an impressive 11 gold medals, 4 of which were in weightlifting. Ice hockey is another forte, with the men's national team ranking 39th globally, according to the International Ice Hockey Federation. As of this writing, no athlete from the country had reached the podium in the 2018 Games. Whoa. Gee whiz. Turkey recently announced plans to possibly launch an operation on a Kurdish-held enclave in northern Syria. Jasper Fink, a lecturer in international law, assesses whether there is a legal justification for Ankara's potential operation. Wow, check out what's going on. Urban activists and residents in Syria's third-largest city say Assad's forces have intentionally destroyed traditional buildings in the city center, but not for military reasons. The driving force is a controversial urban planning scheme called Homsri. The #Trumpstain spreads. The New York Times found this nugget. Nicholas Christoph, February 14, 2018. Winston Churchill is supposed to have said, "With integrity, nothing else counts. Without integrity, nothing else counts." In fact, that seems to be one of those Churchillian epigrams that Churchill never actually got around to saying. But it captures an important truth about politics, that dishonor is like a cancer that spreads inexorably as it feeds upon ambition, protects itself with lies and doubles down with cover-ups. Looking at the chaos in the White House these days, I worry about inexperience, incompetence and lack of judgment. But maybe I worry most about an utter lack of integrity and the way it is proving infectious. The contagion of dishonor has spread irresistibly through the White House staff, turning aides into con artists. Indifference to ethics has spread through the cabinet and agencies, resulting in endless scandals. And the epidemic has rippled through much of the GOP, with some heroic exceptions, turning lawmakers into enablers and hypocrites. The internet really creeps me out sometimes.